Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone rested well last night. Continually allow your light to shine. Continually be a blessing to not only yourself be blessed, but be a blessing to others. Last night was our first night at church for Vacation Bible School, and our theme is GPS. We normally think of a GPS as being a global positioning system, but it's actually God's positioning system. Positioning by God for our favor. So I was thinking about that last night because we were going over the story about Joseph and how his life was favored upon God from the very beginning. His life was favored and he wound up reaching his destiny. And then I came across this that I kind of thought would kind of tie into that. It's the joy of trusting God's plan. Look at the life you hold in your own two hands. Is it tattered and shabby? Think about it. Might it bring opportunities for growth and gladness? What is going to be important 100 years from now that doesn't seem important now? What seems important now that will not be important a century from now? In moments that appear unredeemable, watch and wait. Recognize the precious things. Refuse to trash anything. Ask God to help you see things from His perspective. Take one step after another. Before long, in spite of yourself, you may notice surprising signs of hope in your own backyard. Trial and triumph are what God uses to scribble all over the pages of our lives. They are signs that He is using us, loving us, shaping us to His image, enjoying our companionship, delivering us from evil, and writing eternity into our hearts. Be happy through everything because today is the only thing you can be sure of, right here, right now. Cherish the moment that you hold in your hands. And God's infinite plan for my life, He allowed me to be put up for adoption. And at that time, I didn't understand it. When I was told I was adopted, didn't quite understand the process. The hows and the whys took over. And in that doing that, I became bitter. I harbored some hatred and some bitterness in my own heart. That was only until I realized God's infinite plan for my life while I was placed in the home where I was supposed to be. And from that beginning is where my whole life story started. It transitioned to find out why I was there. What was my purpose being in that household in regards to not being brought up in the household that I was originally born into. So with that process started multiple other processes. But like I said, you cannot get to the point where you start questioning God as to why. You have to trust the process because there is a process in everything that God does as far as your life. There is a purpose. There is a reasoning. And once you realize what that is, it is amazing. Because who knew? I was placed in a home as an only child in that home because God worked on me to have a loving heart. Because me and my mom, we were close. We were tight. We pretty much went everywhere together because my mom didn't drive. So I was that companion, that person who had to take her everywhere. God instilled in me some leadership abilities because I had to be the one to take her to doctor's appointments. I had to be the one to talk to the doctors. I had to be the one to find out why is she on this medication? What is this medication for? I was the one in charge. Even though God is in charge of all of our lives, He placed me there to be able to be the one to do for my mom and to be there for me. He gave me that loving heart, that big heart, because maybe somebody else who might have been in that same situation might not have been able to do that, but He instilled that in me. So I'm a leader. I'm a little bit headstrong, Sometimes I think I'm a little bossy, just a tad bit. But in some instances, all of these characteristics can work in my favor. Whatever God has instilled in you, whatever God's path he has for you, do not question it. Do not wonder the whys and the what for, because in everything that happens, God already knew that it was going to happen. Like I said, he placed me in that home for a reason. So I don't question it at all. So just with that being said, I'm just here to say, be joyful, be happy. Be compassionate. Be that giving, warm, affectionate individual that you can be. If God has instilled in you some leadership capabilities, do not question it. Get up and do what is needed of you. Don't be fearful. Don't be scared. Because when I started doing this and getting on doing this, I was scared. I'm still scared. Sometimes I don't even know if I'm able to do it. But God will equip you to do it. Because I was thinking, what can I possibly get on and say every morning? What can I do as far as not only to help myself, but help somebody else? And yet I'm here to tell you, I'm going strong. I'm still doing it. Am I a little bit scared at times? Sure, we all are. We all go through that. But just know that if you allow yourself to let God to lead you, you can do it. Just be blessed, each and every one. Do something to help somebody else. And I'm just here to say, whatever it is that you may be going through and whatever is going on in your life, do not question it. Know that there is a reason you have to go through all of this. Whatever the hardship may be, whatever it is, just know that God will get the glory and get the purpose out of whatever you are going through. So I'm just here to tell you, don't question it. Just allow it to happen. Go through it, because once you truly go through it, you'll be able to maybe help somebody else. So everyone be blessed. Everyone have a wonderful day. And as I always continually say, continually allow your light to shine, everybody. Serve somebody else. Move self out the way and do whatever is required of you to do.